I love this time to start off with the muscles readjusting to the ground, the breath starting to flow deep. Within, I get this sense of excitement in my body that it's like, yes, we're going to move, we're going to feel good, we're going to stretch. So I love this time where my body's just excited to be here. So as we're breathing nice and deep, our intention today, our focus is all about the hamstrings. So think of all that the hamstrings do for us. It's like really, we probably take them a little bit for granted, but they do so much. They help us walk, hike, bike, run, swim. Like they do so much, and they really are that thing that carries us from one place to another. They work, and the more things work, the stronger they get. And unless you consciously stretch something that's strong, it will have this tendency to get tighter and tighter. That's why hamstrings are one of those areas that are notoriously just take time and effort to let them go long. So as we're working through our class today, getting those hamstrings quite a bit longer, think of this as like a tonic for our hamstrings. So it's almost like a little medicine that you take that all of a sudden it just feels better. So that's what we're trying to do to those hamstrings. So rather than just getting tighter and tighter and stronger, we're helping them become longer and just feel better through us, not leading us to pain, leading us instead to ease. And so with this tonic, with that idea, that's ease through our body to help lead us on. Let's begin nice and easy. We'll start taking the knees into the chest. As the knees are in, let's take easy rocking left and right. A couple of rocks to tune into our body. Just notice how hips, how low back are. And to kind of kick off this idea of getting longer and just feeling good within our body, the first thing we're going to do is something that not only starts to kind of warm up these joints a little bit, but it also helps us just feel like it's a huge stretch, like it's first thing in the morning. So what we're going to do is right here with hands on knees, we'll take an inhale to stretch our right arm and right leg really far away from one another. So that huge stretch, everything's hovering above the ground. And then exhale, we'll take that back in. Give that side a good hug while the left leg stretches out. And then exhale. We'll start to move with our breath. The inhales and exhales, try to keep them long and slow. And I like to kind of move my head off to the side a little bit. So it's like there can be a full straight line from arm up to leg. You'll notice all sorts of goodies involved here in the stretch. We're getting through the thigh, especially outer and the front of it. We're getting through shoulder and ribs. So let's take 2 more to each side. Last one, nice and deep. Beautiful. And then when we're back through the center, we'll take our banana stretch. So legs go long to the ground, arms are up overhead. Let's cross our right ankle over left, and then legs scoot to left. Grab right wrist, and then scoot the shoulders off to the left. They're not lifting off the ground, but it's a lateral lean. You choose the exact quality here. You could be passive, just enjoying being in this angle, or you could be active, pushing against ankle and wrist connection. And just feel more and more muscle groups getting involved. Another deep inhale. With our exhale, release. Let's take it right over to the second side. Put the left ankle over the right, legs to the right. Above head, gripping onto left wrist, pulling it over to the right. Same quality as before, whether it was more active or more passive. So let's go for a deep inhale. Exhale. Release. Let's work our spine back onto the middle of the mat. Knees come back into the chest. Just notice how the back and the hips feel at this point. Then from here, we're rocking all the way over to the right side in a fetal position. So set up your shoulder comfortable, set up your head comfortable. When we're all the way off to the side, the top leg is going to straighten out to the space in front of us. And then both arms grab onto the leg. So it could be a calf, ankle, foot, whatever feels good. The foot can easily just rest on the ground. Bring it to the first good point where you feel the hamstring stretch. It's kind of our first hamstring stretch of the day. And just pause for a couple of breaths at that angle. Notice how the hamstrings are gradually getting not quite as intense in this exact angle. So when you reach that point, when you realize, oh, this isn't quite as deep as when I started, at that point, slide your foot another inch or two higher, bringing it kind of to a new edge. And again, do the same thing one more time, a couple of breaths. Just listen to the intensity. At some point, maybe a breath or two from now, when it starts to feel like it's not quite as intense anymore, slide it up maybe to the last spot, as high as it wants to go to be. Good. So using the right hand to anchor that leg, the left hand is going to start lifting up to the sky. Let it continue to open up to the space behind your back. And then lift the hand back up and return it. 5 times nice and easy like that. We're going to let that shoulder open. So up, eventually back, and then gradually return. Repeating that 3. 2. The last time the arm spirals open, let it stay, a few bonus breaths. And notice that fun sensation of breathing into the belly. It gives all those intestines a good little massage just by the act of breathing. Good. So with this current exhale, release, bring the knees back up to the sky, hands to the knees, a couple of easy rocks. Just notice how the back is doing. And then when you're ready, tip everything over to the left. The top leg lengthens out, hands grab onto the ankle, calf, foot, whatever you like. And you're setting it up at that first good spot. You're kind of starting to feel a good stretch, and then just breathe a couple of rounds. When you get that realization, oh, this isn't quite as intense anymore, slide it up a little bit. You're ready one more time. Let it slide up. As deep as it's willing to go right now. Left hand anchors the foot. The right arm gradually opens out. And return. Take your time. 4. 3. 2. And the last one, we can stay open. Just enjoy a few rounds of breath. Good. So knees back up above us. Couple of breaths to rock. Notice everything's starting to get more willing to stretch for us. So from here, left foot goes to the ground. Just let it stay there. Right leg up to sky, grabbing on the side or calf. Help this out. We're going to do 3 pulses. A pulse goes like this. We bend the knee. The foot lowers down a little bit. When we straighten the leg right back up, straighten it a little bit deeper than it was a moment ago. Even a millimeter counts. And then bend again. Re-straighten a little bit deeper yet again. Take one more time. Good. Pause right here at this good depth. The left leg perhaps slides about halfway to straight. If you like how that feels, maybe it goes all the way straight, pulling everything a bit longer. This right leg a chance to open out wide to the right for a moment. New muscles for that inner thigh to stretch. And leg comes back up. Cross it over the body about halfway to the left. It's the point when the hip starts to lift off the ground. Beautiful. Leg back up to sky. Give it a little tug one more time. And then releasing the hands, the muscular effort is holding this leg up. The leg is going to do 5 circles. We circle out to the side and down, in through the middle and up. Repeat that. 4 and 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee, rest the foot to the ground, left leg up to sky. Grab on. Let's do our 3 pulses. The knee bends. When it travels right back up, it goes a bit deeper than it was a moment ago. Here we repeat. 4. Sorry, this one was just 3, so 1 more. Going up just a bit deeper. Good. So maybe the right leg starts to slide out a little bit. Maybe it goes all the way long. So that pull everything a bit deeper. It's okay if the leg is shaking a little bit. That means we're right at the edge of the range right now. Maybe the leg opens out wide to the left. Let's feel the inner thigh for a moment. And leg up. Cross it about halfway to the right. Hip is just starting to lift off the ground. This is outer thigh. Up. Pull onto the leg again. One more chance to pull in. Then hands release. It's muscular effort, holding the leg up. And we're going wide, circling around, in and up. Repeat that. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Grab back onto this right leg. Start to let the left leg hover above the ground. And we're going to do straight leg switches. Right leg up. And left leg up. If you're choosing to use hands, you're actively pulling the top leg in, so it's in a good stretch each and every time. If you're not using hands, you're trying to muscularly keep the leg as straight as possible. Either way is good, either working on that flexibility or working on that strengthening, continuing to help these areas, these muscle groups, be a little bit more willing to go long. Let's take another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful efforts. Let the knees bend. We're going to rock our way up to sit. So maybe just 1 rock or 2 or 3 if you like that sensation. And eventually, sooner or later, when you're up, let's go to a wide leg straddle. Always know you're fine to bring the hands behind you if you wish. If your hips pull you back, you also have this liberty to bend the knees. That's okay. But let's begin to ease our way forward if that's available today. And I'm starting to ease through both legs stretching at the same time. Let's start to walk our hands to surround the right leg. And surround the left leg. We'll come right back through the center, maybe a hair deeper. Walking the hands back in. There's a spot about halfway between where the legs are now and that forward position. So take your legs to about that halfway in point. From that spot, walk yourself back forward. Totally different sensations going on, new muscles involved. Good, walking back in. One more time, legs go all the way forward. For me, this is the deepest of the 3. So then let yourself start to ease your way back forward. Reminding these hamstrings over and over and over again. Have length. Good. So easy, roll up the spine up. Let's take the knees underneath our body. We're coming to kneel. We'll take a few cat-cows. Make sure that the muscles of the back are still doing okay. So just let your back muscles round up and down, kind of as deep as they're willing to travel to both directions. I'm going to take one more cycle to each. And right there at a neutral spine, tuck the toes. For this down dog that we're heading into, our goal is to start off with the knees bent so that the hips and the back can get, so hips as high as possible, back as straight as possible from wrist up to hips. So you're shifting those hips all the way up and back. And then from that position, then try to see if both legs together can start to get just a little bit long. If your back rounds forward again, as the hamstrings lengthen, you're gonna go back to the slightly bent knees, and that's where you'll be for now. We'll use our down dogs today as a chance to kind of check in with any additional length that's being built. For this first down dog, just continue to feel those hips lifting high. Take 2 more good breaths. And let's start to make our feet walk all the way up to the top. As we're here, let's find a long spot with the spine. So some of us will be up to 90 degrees. Some of us don't have to go quite that high, but you're getting to a spot where your spine can be absolutely flat. The idea of this is flat spine engages erector spinae muscles, the muscles along the vertebrae. Engaging that pulls onto our sitting bones, tucking it back so that it makes the hamstrings go to their full length. So take one more inhale here. Exhale. Bend the knees, easy roll up with the head. Once you're up, circle the arms up, maybe take a slight back bend. Hands to the heart. And creating more space for the body, drop the left hand to left side. Right hand 5 times, goes up and over, and eases part way out. Let's take it 4. 3. 2. And 1. Switch out sides. Left hand 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Beautiful. So right back up here at standing. Let's inhale. Hold the arms up to the side. Little back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale up to that half lift area. Exhale, dropping fingers down. Slide just the right foot all the way to the back. Continue surrounding the front leg or on the inside, whatever's more comfortable. What we'll do from here 5 times is this front leg works its way a bit straighter, as straight as that front leg can take, and then let it bend again. So repeat that action. 4. 3. 2. This last one, stay long, just a couple more breaths. And as we let that front knee come back to a bend place, shift that foot around until your hands are in the placement for down dog. And from here, that left leg will swing up and back, three-legged dog. Let that left leg float, like a standing split almost. It's trying to reach so high. Good. So then from here, leaving that leg floating, come to a plank. Floating left leg. Lower chaturanga if you can. Nice little cobra. If you'd like a child pose, that's fine. Otherwise, straight up to down dog. Again, use these down dogs to just notice any differences. The additional length discovered. Working our feet back up toward the top of the mat. Slide the hands up to your half lift position, the spot where the spine is very straight. For that additional length through hamstrings. Bend the knees, roll up. Circle the arms up. Towards the heart. Take your right heel to the floor in front of you. The other knee can be bent as you lean forward over the right leg. Good. Coming up, left. Traveling down. Good. Rising up. Clasp the hands behind your back. As you start into the forward fold, this time let the knees be bent. Pull the arms into that nice shoulder stretch. Overall, body feeling better. Maybe the legs are able to work their way closer to straight. And hands drop down. Good. So half lift, inhale. Exhale, hands back down. Left foot slides back. And 5 times this leg works its way as straight as it can. And bend. 4. 3. 2. This last one, stay a little bit longer. And readjust until hands are in that down dog placement. Float this right leg up to three-legged dog. The sensation like standing split, lifting as high as possible. And shift into plank with that right leg lifting if you can. Lower chaturanga. Drop it down through cobra. And up to down dog. Make our way back up to the top of the mat. Nice half lift. That same good angle. Nice inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, roll our way up. circle up. And hands at heart. Good. So here as we shift our weight into our left foot, we're either going to clasp around this right thigh to try to straighten the right leg, or if you can grab the foot itself, try to let the whole leg straighten out. So your choice. If you're taking the hand to foot option, make sure you're not sacrificing your posture, so it's pulling up nice and tall. Go ahead and head to right leg stretching out, whatever you can do. Even if you're just kind of working on balance, that's great. Good. And as you gently release, go through warrior 3, warrior 1, warrior 2, turning the toes to the long edge, wide angle forward fold. First, bring the hands right under the shoulders at that sensation of the half lift. If you'd like to go deeper, notice how walking hands to left and right will still leave you supported, a very straight spine, but it gives you something further to reach for. You're welcome to start playing with how far the hands can go left and right, spine supported, very straight up to the hips. Good, bending the knees, roll the spine up. Front toes turn forward, warrior 2 for a moment. Re-straighten, triangle. Left hand reaches forward, that tilts the hips. And the hand works its way down towards shin, top hand up to sky. Feel the sensation of the back opening as if you're simply laying your back open on the ground. Good, rising back up. Bend the front knee, warrior 2. Shorten stance back up to warrior 1. Straighten the front leg, hands to hips. We'll take pyramid. The hands are at the hips so that as we go forward, the hips don't tilt off to some weird angle. Think of the hips like headlights of a car. We want them to stay forward. So keeping them level like that, start to tilt forward. There'll be a good kind of half lift spot where the spine's still straight. At that point, drop hands to shin or floor. And then if you'd like to continue to drop down, that's perfectly fine. Here's a spot. With my hamstrings have this tendency to have a slight bend even when I think that they're straight. So if that's you too, and you're not a hyperextension person, if you're a hyperextension person, just ignore what I'm about to say, but if this is you with having a little bit of bend, what you'll do is engage the quadricep muscle, and that'll help that hamstring find that last inch of length. So the kneecap should lift just a hair. Good, let's try to go toward revolved triangle from here. So the right hand stays on the ground. Try to set the spine back up at the long angle. And then the left hand tries to float up to the sky. Again, feel that sensation of the back trying to open onto the floor, as flat as possible. Good. So hands down. Bump the hands forward a foot. Floating the back leg. We're either in supported warrior 3 or continuing to go higher in the standing split. If you're in standing split, you're trying to work the torso closer to the thigh. And sometimes that shifts our center of gravity such that we can play with our balance. Maybe hands come in a little bit closer, maybe fewer fingers on the ground. Maybe one hand around ankle or both. Take one more good inhale. And then exhale, release both feet to the ground. We're just dangling. Go right back up to that half lift spot. Hamstrings fully engaged. Good, bend the knees. Let's roll our spine up. Circle arms up. Good, hands to heart. Okay, sequence on the second side. We're standing on our right foot. Maybe clasping left thigh to straighten out. Or maybe grabbing left foot. Spine still stays tall. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, sweep back, warrior three. Land, warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, open warrior two. Bring the toes to this long edge. Let's drop down to the floor. For this one, at first, walk the hands as far forward as you can. Feel that super straight, long spine. You can either stay here, feel how that does include hamstrings really nicely. Or if you can maintain a decently straight spine, maybe you switch to walking the hands underneath and through your body. Kind of play with using inhales to lengthen, exhales to release. Legs are shaking again, that's perfectly fine. That just means we've lightly fatigued them. They're getting right up to the end of their stretch. One more inhale. Exhale. Bend the knees. Let's roll our way up. Front toes rotate forward and then bend that knee. A brief warrior two. Re-straighten. Triangle, right hand forward. Drop the hand, up and up. And back to warrior two. Shorten to warrior one. Front leg straightens. Hands to hips. Keep those headlights forward as you go forward and down. About the halfway point, hands go to shin or floor. Welcome to continue to drop down if there's a little bit more space. Maybe that slight quadricep engagement, lifting the knee just a little bit. And start to ground the left hand. Let the spine find that long angle again. Right hand up to the revolve first. Good, hand down. Hand slide forward a foot, standing splits. If you want to play with balance, maybe hands come closer or even around that front calf. Nice inhale. And exhale, let's release. Spine dropping down. Up to the half lift. Bending the knees to roll up. Circle up. Hands to heart. Let's take that right heel out in front of us again. Letting the back knee bend as much as we need to. Let's slide forward, deepening that right leg experience. And coming up, switch it out, left leg. Traveling down. Good, rising up. Feet underneath us. When we come down next, just for a hair more strengthening, just warming up before these last stretches we're heading into, we're going to go from that same standing split type position, and we're going to let that right leg go up and then toes touch down, up and down. So it's going to be right leg 5 times, and then left leg 5 times. A nice inhale, circle up. Exhale, forward fold. Go to kind of the half lifted spine if you'd like, or drop down, your choice. But walk the hands closer to the left foot. Shift your weight to left foot. Right leg is free, just the toes on the ground. And lift that leg as high as possible. 5. And down. 4. Down. 3. 2. Last 1. When it goes down, shift yourself over onto that hip. Free up the left toes. And we're taking it 5. 4. 3. 2. Last 1. And down. Half lift. Plant the hands. Step back. Take a flow unless you wish, child pose. Going down. Back bend. Downward facing dog. Once again, use this as a chance to just notice how the body's opening up more and more. Good. So from down dog, float your right leg up high. Step your right foot in between hands. And then lower onto the back knee. Your hips shift over the back knee, front leg straightens. And we're going to do something that includes the Golgi tendon reflex. So essentially we're making this hamstring contract. And then after that, when we head to a stretch, it's able to stretch a little bit longer than before. So the idea here is when I start to count down from 10, you'll push your heel directly into the ground as hard as you can. You'll feel that hamstring contract really strongly. So when you're ready, begin to push down as hard as you can. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. The hamstring's nice and loose again. So from that spot, you choose how far to slide forward toward any version, any amount of splits. It's going to be an amount that you can comfortably maintain for about 5 or 6 breaths. So don't feel like you have to push it too far. One more good breath in. And out. Slide your hips over the back knee. And then this right leg is going to swing directly off to the right side. Drop down to elbows. Maybe even walk your elbows closer to the straight leg. Your choice. And back up onto hands. Continue to circle the right leg to the back of the mat. The right toes tuck. Then press back for that right calf stretch for a moment. Good. Shifting up to down dog from here. Still how different right and left sides are. And we're gonna lift left leg up. Step left foot through. Drop onto the back knee. Shifting hips over that knee. Front leg is straight. Golgi tendon reflex. So push the heel directly into the earth as hard as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, hamstrings loose again. That feels good. You choose how deep to go forward towards splits, the amount that you can maintain for 3 rounds. One more inhale. Exhale. Shift your hips back. And then swing the leg to the left. Dropping down to elbows. Maybe walk your elbows closer if you like. Back up onto hands. Continue to circle the leg all the way behind and take that calf stretch. Good. So lowering down, let's come to a seated place. Our right leg is going to be long out in front of us, our left foot tucked in. We'll take a spinal twist, so right hand or right elbow hooks. The other hand is behind us. Think of lifting the spine up first and then using that nice exhale to continue to slide. Turning forward, let that thigh drop down. Inhale, reach up tall. We're engaging the rectus spinae, straight spine. Exhale, release forward. Rising up to switch. Plant the right foot, left leg is long. Hook around and spiral. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Thigh drops down. Inhale up, tall, long spine. Exhale, forward. And one more stretch here. Let's try both legs together. For me, quite a different story than one at a time. So if you need to remove any flesh, go ahead and remove some flesh. Then engage that spine up tall again. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Rising up. Make sure you've got enough mat behind you. And then let's engage our core, slowly rolling back, one vertebrae at a time. As you make your way onto the mat, you might just be ready for Shavasana immediately. That's beautiful. Our body's really prepared. If there's any last things, you are welcome to take them. Any last stretches you might need. And sooner or later, when you're in Shavasana, perhaps the useful idea today to think about is that idea, returning to the idea of tonic. Feel how long those hamstrings are. Imagine that's like a tonic we just gave our body for it to feel so much better. So in your Shavasana today, perhaps just imagine that tonic spreading from the hamstrings slowly out to the rest of your body. Just with our good deep inhales and exhales, helping the whole body feel as good as the hamstrings do right now. Here, begin to deepen the inhales. Deepen the exhales. Introduce little movements to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching it out like it's first thing in the morning. So I'll start to roll over to a comfortable fetal position on one side. No sense of rush at all. It's like each breath is continuing to spread that tonic, helping us feel more rested, more rejuvenated, more vitality, more excitement. Perhaps another breath or two. You feel excited to embrace the rest of the day. At that point, we'll rise up to a comfortable seated place. With hands at our heart, imagine that tonic we took for the hamstrings is now spread all over the body. Whole body feels so good, so much more open and relaxed. So as we travel forward into our day, confronting who knows what kinds of challenges or possible confrontations, all sorts of interesting people perhaps on our path, we can remember this tonic and use this tonic as our opportunity to embrace our challenges today with this sense of calm and peace and just knowing that everything's good, we're empowered. And so with this idea, this feeling to lead us on, let's allow ourselves to wrap up the time we shared together with a sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.